Welcome back. In our last session, we discussed how trying to control our thoughts, feelings, and other products of our mind is not really a helpful strategy for reducing our problems. But what is the alternative? Well, it's called acceptance. If one is willing to have an emotion or a thought and not get rid of it or alter it, then one can escape the detrimental consequences of control. This lesson will focus on using acceptance strategies instead of control strategies for the purpose of stress management. In order to understand how acceptance can be used to cope with stress, it is important to first distinguish between clean and dirty discomfort. Clean discomfort is the stress that we all experience in our lives as a function of living. It might be relatively low at times, for example, getting irritated when someone puts you down, or it can be high, for example, at losing a job. Life has many painful events, and our painful reactions to them are natural and entirely acceptable. It is when we are unwilling to experience these natural reactions, the clean discomfort, that we wind up with what we call dirty discomfort. Now, dirty discomfort is emotional pain created by our efforts to control natural clean discomfort that we experience. That is, when trying to avoid or control or get rid of clean discomfort, a whole new set of painful feelings, emotions, and thoughts appear, and stress increases. This dirty discomfort is the unnecessary addition of pain on pain, fear of fear, guilt over guilt. This results in an increased likelihood that people will try to control or avoid negative feelings and thus carry on in a vicious circle of control and stress. But acceptance is one way to break the negative cycle. Acceptance involves moving in the opposite direction, towards the pain, towards the emotions, thoughts, and feelings that we dislike. Consider this. Suppose you were caught in quicksand. Naturally, you try to get out, but almost everything that you've learned about how to get out will create problems for you. If you try to walk or jump or climb or run, you just sink in deeper because you end up trying to push down on the sand. If you struggle, wiggle, push with your hands or crawl, you sink in deeper. Often, as people sink, they start to get panicky and they start flailing around and down they go. In quicksand, the only thing to do is to create as much surface area as possible. To lay out on the quicksand, getting in full contact with what you've been struggling with, but without more struggle. Now that will be tricky because your mind is telling you to struggle in a situation where this strategy is counterproductive. But don't be too hard on your mind. It's been taught that this control strategy works and it can't see anything else to do. Furthermore, it has learned this ineffective control strategy so well that you can't just tell it to stop using it and expect that it will. Now that we have shown how struggling or fighting your thoughts and emotions can serve to exacerbate our problems, we are ready to practice some acceptance or willingness strategies in the next lesson. See you there.